Driven by this forest and this walk my whole life. Today we check off walking the George Washington Forest in Hingham, Massachusetts. We'll have to look up some stats online, but the George Washington Forest is a managed forest. So it's all planted, structured, forested, with trails throughout. Growing up, this was a forest of managed red pine, but it's good to see that they didn't make it a monoculture because those reds have largely died off by insect infestation, and all the white pines are left standing. But there's a definitive understory of beech here, a little bit of oak growing up through, but predominantly white pine. The entrance I came in on, and I believe all throughout, nice sturdy fire roads throughout. Good for maintaining the forest, good for protecting it should there be a forest fire situation, but also great for walking. Nice vernal pond right over there. Probably can't see it in the video. Nice little depression, nice little vernal pond in there. Important for the ecosystem. We've just come out of a tropical storm, so it's pretty wet back here, but certainly manageable. Good trail markers throughout. That intersection of the path that goes up a hill here. Straight ahead, another path that goes that way, and that's from whence we came. I'll drop a pin for this location here and do a street view 360 degrees shot from here as well. Post that in the links down below. A lot of Hingham got co-opted for the war effort, World War II. So it's pretty cool to be on a walk here. There's a rise over there. There's another rise over here. But it's nice to see rises on walks through the woods that aren't old army bunkers that once held nuclear weapons or other missiles. They're just nice, glacial, terminal moraine type rises in the woods. So we're in a particularly empty spot of the forest. I assume this was all part of the red pine. There's a Japanese red maple in there, seeded in. But this right here could be my favorite white pine of all times. Look at this guy. Gonna be one of those nice gargantuan 110-foot white pines, right? Nope. Broken off at 75 feet. It's got a little Christmas tree up on top there. Good for it for coming back. But that breakage at the 75, 85 foot mark, not supposed to happen in normal weather. But it's keeping on going, so good for it. But my guess is this was largely red pine in this area, and then it got wiped out. And so the understory is growing up. There's a red pine off in the distance, right behind that white pine. So there's a couple left, but they're distinctly different, and they got all eaten up by an introduced insect that just swept through this forest. Lots of great intersections on this walk. My first time here, I believe we're on our way to Lozelle Street out here. But there's these big cuts that go out to the middle. We'll try one of those on our way back maybe, or maybe this road here. I've marked this spot with a waypoint, which I'll cut into the video up above here. And then I've also put a 360-degree street view shot of where I'm at. So you can come here before you come here, and we'll continue on. There's a deer, happy as a clam. The dogs and I are right here. Little doe. Mario noticed, but the shepherd hasn't noticed. Monarch. And they're right there. They're watching us. We're watching them. Little tail flip there. But no fear. Pretty cool. Oh, look at Mario. Mario's like, hey, those dogs want to play with us. Still a shepherd. No notice. They're there. Just the doe is right around the corner there, a little baby gal. Oh, she just saw us. Just a little guy, curious. Hey, there's some funny looking deer coming. There she goes, off into the woods. Pretty cool. Here's a find. Here's a black spruce out here in the woods. Pretty cool. Unexpected. Again, more decimated red pine and some older white pine stock. Black spruce in there is pretty new. 15, 20 years old. Just a youth. See some of my other videos of these at my house. Black spruce, they'll get 100, 110 feet tall. It's a regular spruce, not black spruce. Oop. So this is sort of unexpected. We came out by Mast Hill Drive on Lozelle Street. Looks like it's Trail T1. So you can look at the map, see where we're at. I'll post the trail. But there's mountain laurels here. And as we go in, lots of mountain laurels in the forest here. Some big old oaks on the periphery here. Plenty of fern. A lot of water further in. This curvy pattern on this pine, this white pine, this twisty curvy pattern, that's a lightning strike, which remarkably this tree has survived. But great walk in here, just a great walk. So we're going to talk about soil acidity in some of my other videos. Still working on that one, haven't posted it yet, but if it's past 2021, you'll see it out there. But I'm on a rise here. Terminal moraine from the glacier. Soil deposited here. But I would guess that the granite bedrock is not far below us. We're in Hingham. Kind of far from Cohasset, but there's not a ton of soil between us and the bedrock below, but all nice acid loving plants here. So we got blueberries, we have pines, we have oaks, and they're here because it's acidic. they're not making it acidic. So that's the big myth about soil acidity, that all these plants are here making the soil acidic, and it's not. It's the rocks underneath the dirt that make the soil acidic. And plants that like that, they're here 'cause. So for instance, we have blueberries, we have white pines, and we have oaks. Look at this big red oak here. So you probably can't see in the video, but this is a red oak, and the leaves are pointy. They're still multi-lobed. I think it's what is it? 5-lobed, but the tips of the leaves are pointy. And right next to it, this little guy here, that's a pin oak, and the tips of the leaves are rounded. Bark's a little bit different, a little bit grayer, a little bit more flaky on the pin oak, and a little bit more like white pine, or more consistent but deeply furrowed on the red oak. Kind of cool to see them side by side. So this walk here, this is Trail T2 in the George Washington Forest in Hingham. And T2 could be better than the Milliken Walk in Womapatuk State Park, which is designated as a rhododendron and Kalmia rhododendron and mountain laurel walk. But we're in here on Trail T2. I'll drop a pin where this is, but these are rhododendron maxima. So in New England here, these rhododendrons, in New England here, these rhododendrons will get to be, I don't know, 15, 20 feet tall. Out in Seattle, these will get 35, 40 feet tall. Big, huge leaves. Hang on, I'm a little twisted up here with the dogs. We'll get over there. Look at these big, huge leaves. So big, huge leaves. That's my hand next to the leaf. And big, huge clusters of flowers. Not super exciting, light pink to pink, but giant clusters make an English roseum or roseum elegans look tiny. Cool underneath here. This is the understory. But this is a good walk. This would be a great place to come in June to see all these mountain laurels in bloom. They're all seeded up, so they were magnificent when they were in bloom. Heading back on Trail T2, doubling back on the way we came. Lots of blueberries, lots and lots of blueberries. It's really wet through here. There's some summer sweet just getting ready to bloom there. And lots of low bush blueberry there. This is the oldest tree I've seen in here yet. Big old white pine, full height, probably 100+ years old there, I would guess. Hornbeam. Got this river running through here. New England swamp. We're on T2 now. We're gonna go down whatever this cut is here off to the right. You'll see it on the map. And I did a 360 degree from here, so this is the, came from that way. That way goes to Charles Street, straight ahead, not that way. I'm gonna venture down here, see what's here. Might not be anything. This has all been bulldozed through here. My guess is this was when they came in to manage the tree fall of the red pine. This was an access point. Big piles of red pine chips. And maybe an access point to the water. That's all through here. Yeah, this trail is all engineered roadway through the middle of the swamp here. I suspect we're gonna come back out onto Lozelle Street. So there's, the grass is giving Monty the scoots here. But all water down here, like serious water. Probably underfoot you can tell, excuse me madam, underfoot you can tell it's definitely hard pack. And there's stone along the side here. So this is a manufactured roadway through the middle here to give access to this portion of the forest, built for fire control and for management, as this section also was all red pine that had to be cleared out. So we're coming up here, there's a big stand off to our right of red pine that hasn't been forested, but should come out of here pretty soon. I guess they're leaving it for the ecosystem part of it. If they were to leave the whole forest that way, then it would definitely create a fuel load in here that would be unmanageable should it get going. So they've cleared most of that out. Yep, so this little path we're on, definitely an engineered roadway across the water in here, right across from Sawmill Pond, or Sawmill Pond Drive. So easy way in, you could park on Sawmill Pond Drive there and walk in this way. Good access road, not much of a trail, but gets you to the main trail that runs through the middle. Oh my goodness, that's too close. So here across from Sawmill Pond Drive, good access road in, good way to walk in, but not much of a trail, just an access point to the main trail that runs through the middle of the forest. So this trail here will also go out to Lozelle Street across the wet. We're not going to take it because Mario says he's tired and Monarch says she's tired. It's not a crazy long walk here, but we did some stuff before we came here. And it's a little humid, not horrible, but we could probably do a good job at not trolling for more ticks. So we'll stay out of the grass. Rest of the trails though, really nice. This is a hidden gem in here. Fair amount of birds. Crows, of course. Blue jays. Plenty of chickadees. Sparrows. Flying mice. But we're kind of at that in-between stage in the day where the birds kind of rest, and then a little bit later, in around 2 or 3, they'll all come out, have their evening meal before settling in. There's some red pine up there. Let's see if we can get a view of them. It's pretty cool kind of pine. So they're up in there. You can see the foliage is just tighter, more dense than the white pine, like up here. And the foliage, the bark is definitively red and flaky. The whole stand in here, probably protected from the insects, or maybe resistant. Low cropping, but the whole forest, a large part of the managed forest was that red pine. That little outcropping seems to have survived over there. Good for them. Took a turn off the main trail here. I believe we're kind of heading over towards Fulling Mill Pond, but we're way up on a ridge here. Water down below there. Houses and lawnmowers mowing sticks. Come on, guys. If we had continued straight on the path we were on, I think we would have come out at 228 eventually. We've taken a right, and now we're heading towards Fulling Mill Pond. So we'll see what that brings. Different trail system, not part of the protected forest, but still a protected area. Trail markers have changed to colored blazes. The main trail seems to be a blue blaze. Haven't noticed anything on this trail here, but pretty clearly defined for walking. This trail, however, will be tricky in the winter and certainly the fall, as all these oak leaves fall down and the trail gets obscured some. More later. So a definitive downhill here. You probably can't see it on the video, but they're straight ahead to the treetops. So we're going to drop down there, probably to the Filling Mill River. Hopefully we will not have to walk through the water, and we'll see whatever it brings us. Ooh, that's a hill right there. Big ridge. Now we're along the side of clearly a river. Come on, Mark. Nice there. Probably not navigable by anything other than ducks and fish. A good trail along the edge. Hopefully we'll skirt it. So I don't know much about the history of this area, but clearly this spot was hollowed out here. So the soil was dug out here to make this little causeway across here between the river structures there and other ponds and so forth here. So I don't see any evidence of like a mill or anything, but definitely managed water through here. But oh, look at this gem. We're gonna definitely drop a pin for this. If you like Baltimore Orioles, they'll be in there, or Eastern Orioles as well, definitely in there. Look at these hidden ponds deep in the woods here in Hingham. And two big beautiful ponds. Don't drive to New Hampshire, just come right here, get away from it all. White lily pads, those are native. That's a good sign. The ones in my pond are pink, which are not native. I got a couple white ones. They're mostly pink, so they're introduced. So I'm no hydraulic engineer, but clearly this is carved series of ponds connected by streams, which are filled to store water, which is then managed back down to use at a later date, kind of like a water battery. And I'm no hydraulic engineer, but look at the water come pumping out here. And this is we're at the highest spot. So there's height there, but there's nothing beyond that ridge. There's nothing beyond this trail behind me that's higher. There is a mowed path there, and the pipe down here is, so this might have been an old channel that was managed, but this water is being actively pumped up here. So the big PVC pipe there. I know there's a pumping station down below, so it's all part of managing the aquifer. Pretty cool, all the same. This pond here drains into some other ponds, which then drain into some other ponds, so pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stormwater management and aquifer management. Drop a pin for here. All right, back on our way. Check out this whopper. Maybe a stump under there. Don't know my mushrooms and fungi properly. There's a size 12 sneaker next to it. So that's a whopper. Ooh. So this is the trail we came in on. This is the trail we headed out on. And this little secret trail here goes into all those upper ponds. I will drop a waypoint here and we're gonna wrap it up soon. As we exit, you can really see that managed structure of the forest. When I was growing up and going to school and I had to pass by these forests, you could see down the rows of trees because they were planted like in perfectly straight lines. So you could see right down each row. The red pines were more managed than the white pines. But again, to avoid monoculture, the white pines are interspersed. That's a good thing. So right where we exit, all of managed white pine forest. The understory is pretty low here. And we're gonna come back out to the entrance. I will drop a waypoint at the parking space as well. And then we'll see. So this is really a gem of a trail. So these trails in on the, I believe it's the George Washington Forest is where we're at. Real gem of trail systems in here. Worth taking. Check out the map. Check out the 360 street views to sort of visit before you visit. Not a ton of easily identifiable parking nearby, but drop a bit waypoint as to where I parked, and worth a visit. Not too buggy, lots of nature, great trails. No more poison ivy than the next trail, but the trails are wide and not grown over. Truly a gem. So if you like that funny little video and you want to learn how to eat these guys, check out my video on how to make candied pansies right over there. Click the subscribe button right over there. And if you want to learn more about me and gardening the right way, website's up there. See you next time.